and we have an absolute banger to start the action today.
Definitely. Thank you so much for having me back. I really appreciate it. And I'm really excited to get these games started. If yesterday was anything to go by, I'm sure today is going to be just as hard racing.
Yeah, it was such a treat to watch both of these players face off against other opponents yesterday. Really excited for today's matchup. I think the players are seated and ready to rock in their first game of the day here. So you can see a little more context. Josh in first place right now overall with an absolutely gargantuan 10-1 plus
Whew.
1344. This man is crushing his opponents. But Adam Logan close behind with just a win back and a little bit of spread. And I don't think anybody is surprised to see either of these players at the top of the standings here.
Oh, definitely. I think this game is going to be a banger for sure. I mean, I'm sure we're going to be just holding on to our breaths, just seeing what's going to happen at any given point.
So, first rack of the game, we're underway in day two of the Canadian Scrabble Classic. It was such a treat yesterday, like I said. Thank you to any of the watching at the break of dawn, maybe wherever you are, getting that good Scrabble coverage in as Adam opens up with Viled there. This is, if you are unfamiliar with this word, you could be forgiven. It's a bit archaic, but it is a nice play by Adam. I wonder, this feels like it's very likely to be an active choice by Adam over vomit to open.
Right. I was thinking of vomit. Well, it's never a good time to think of vomit, but just two more points. I wonder if uh it would have been better, but we have Castellano with a bingo on his rack, and he's just probably going to play through the O for negatory. Wouldn't be too surprised if that comes down.
Yeah, Josh is very, very likely to be seeing his options here. He's got a bingo through the O, as you alluded to. That scores quite well here, 72. He also has a seven-letter word on his rack. If he sees any reason to play it, I don't think he will. Agent tree. So either way,
Always a good
it's
one.
worth noting here that the positioning is kind of important as depending on what Josh plays, Adam actually has a pretty obscure bingo of his own on his rack of Matuk, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh.
so pretty sure Adam sees that. A few other things that Adam might be hoping for, maybe an H for meat hook or something like that. So could be some fireworks
And
here to start this game.
chat chiming in to say that Josh's shirt has to be illegal, way too distracting. I have to say, I have never seen him wear this shirt before, and I am just as, outraged by the amount of orange that we saw yesterday. What is going
Well,
on here, sir?
I am. Oh man, forgot to get the define bot. Sorry about that. The Atom. We're gonna try to work on that. It's one of the laundry list of things to tackle. I know that there's a bunch of streamers out there that have their define bot set up. So if anyone out there wants to pop it up on this channel, we'd be happy to mod you or whatever. As we see negatory come down, I don't think this is going to lead to Adam having a place to play a bingo of his own next turn. So that's a nice start for Josh. Get that first bingo down, and Adam's going to have to rely on something else other than slapping a counter bingo here, I think, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. So
I think
I
he
can tell
probably.
you. Oh, sorry, Nitz. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm, maybe something like oak, perhaps, making Oeagka wouldn't be too bad here. I don't
That's
know. Sorry, what were you saying, Will?
I was going to give some context on Josh's shirt. I could tell you that that is the Pokemon Magikarp on that shirt. And also, it is any Pokemon heads out there know that Magikarp becomes an extremely strong evolved Pokemon. But this Magikarp on Josh's shirt is absolutely jacked. Huge muscles, um, just overflowing. There's no need for this Magikarp to evolve. That is basically what's going on Josh's shirt. So kind of a power move to get to board
Ah,
one and say, you all, maybe he's kind of saying you all think I'm evolving, but actually I'm perfect as I am right now, as the
So
swollest
what you're
Magikarp.
saying is that the Magikarp is actually a Giga Chad, quite like Will Anderson over here.
Exactly.
So that's what you're saying.
Wow.
Okay, I hear you.
Look, that's your characterization, certainly not my but I
Not your
appreciate
own, but definitely the entire Scrabble communities. You're fine. You're fine.
it. Thank you very much. So yeah, honestly, these two players are pretty chatted out. They are crushing it at this tournament, and really, it's been pretty inspiring to see Josh. Basically, a little extra context there. He is knocking on the door of a 2100 rating. I think his rating after yesterday with his 10-1 performance is something like 2097, 2098. It's something where that barrier is pretty meaningful to break into 2100. And Josh is right there. And it feels like it really is just a matter of time at this point. He's made that leap to become a Gyarados from a Magikarp.
Oh,
Actually,
definitely.
to say that he was ever a Magikarp is absolutely incorrect. But I guess we all start out as Magikarps in our Scrabble
Except,
journey. Mitch, what do you think?
if this Magikarp is on steroids, well, then I would be not surprised at all if Josh Castellano is also currently on some sort of studying steroids, because the way that this man goes through his words on a daily basis is absolutely ridiculous. I do not know how people do it.
Yeah, it is. There's preparation that goes into playing at this level for sure. It's such an interesting blend, right, of doing that preparation leading up to an event, but then also all of the strategic instincts and creativity that you need to express in the moment during a Scrabble game that you really can't prepare quite as well for. So definitely a strong, and it looks like Adam's getting ready to play your suggestion, Nits. So, looks pretty good to us, I think, of
Looks
Oak
good, yeah.
scoring well,
I
getting
wonder
rid of one of
if
the two
maybe he would
O's.
have wanted to play something with MY going down, maybe opening the board more, because Josh would
True.
have just picked up 7 random tiles. I don't know. I don't know what he's thinking.
That's a good point. So I'm sure that's partly why Adam took a little bit of time to make that decision. I'm sure he was evaluating plays off of the Y of negatory just to sort of assess, is this going to be something that I want to do here? Instead, I think Adam's taken a little bit more of a patient move rather than opening new portions of the board. He's actually closed a little bit in terms of bingo lanes through the E, G, and A of negatory, and maybe the N as well. But I think
Right.
Adam, I think he's reasoning that there's no time, there's no need to panic. Josh got that first bingo down, but you can see the score very, very close after Adam's next play.
Hmm. His move, I do think, has helped Castellano by giving him a new spot for his F and X plays. I think he can now play fixed, making TOE off that OE instead of just having to play something like Fox down with the Y of negatory.
Yeah,
So
true.
that definitely is a change in.
And very decisively, he has spotted that move and plays it. That is a very high scoring move here, 42 points on a board that doesn't have too much else going for it. So I think that looks really good to me. Only drawback, you keep those two ends. Let's hope he doesn't draw another.
Ooh, yes. Ooh, would be kind of a, yeah, it could be a bummer to pick up another one.
But his odds are not so good for that happening. So I think he also has, if he needs to burn through some N's, you can play NY and something going down there. Actually, though,
There
I
we go.
think um, if I'm Adam, I'm going to be looking to see if I can play parallel to that X, right? The X of fixed is sitting there right next to a double word score.
Yes.
Certainly very tempting. So, wow, there is
Definitely
that
lovely.
third
Yeah.
end. The third end finds
Oh,
its
I
way onto
jinxed him. Oh
Josh's track.
no.
Yeah.
We have Binek
How
in the chat who says Josh for Team USA. And I believe that he's going to try for Team Canada, I think. That's what
Yeah,
he's trying to
dual
play for.
citizen. Dual citizen.
Yeah, there you go.
So honestly, at this point, if he wanted to play for Team USA, he would stand a pretty good chance of it. It's both teams are going to be very competitive, not easy to get onto the quote unquote national teams. And when I mentioned this, just for some context, there are certain international events that require sort of you to outperform other players to earn a spot, whether that be the World Championship coming up this summer or other international events such as the Alchemist Cup, a team-based challenge in Southeast Asia. So players are often thinking about qualifying for those international events, getting their ratings and rankings into shape. Josh probably would qualify easily for Canada, but at this point, like I said,
I
might
think
even
he's registered
qualify.
for Canada. Yeah,
Yeah, he might even qualify for the US at this point, as
I
Adam
wouldn't
does
be
play.
surprised.
He does play in that
Risk
spot
such
next to
out.
the
Yeah,
ice.
that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. I do think that that actually helps Josh a bit to hone in on his next spot because of the NOx hook, nitrous oxide. So
Oh,
it
he
certainly
could do something
feels
like
like
nanny.
Yeah, it certainly feels like something there to burn through some of those ends is going to be a risk worth taking for Josh here, even
Yeah.
though it gives a triple back. So um, close game in the
Perhaps,
early go.
yeah, perhaps playing something like anion, making a me and Nox would be good here. Just keep en, and it's a good score. It's 34 points, not bad at all.
True. Yeah, sorry, folks who are defining. Definitely something I should have had fixed going into today. But so the nanny that Nitz is referring to is NANNIE. Is actually valid. So you could burn through
Yes.
all the ends at once if you wanted. A couple of you guys. A
Oof.
couple of you guys are pointing out that there's some good plays to the F from the F of fixed going across too. Finnan, Fanion. They don't score quite as
Oh,
well. They don't score
nice.
as well as playing with Knox in that upper left, but they aren't quite as risky just by not giving back that big triple lane in response. So let's see what
Definitely,
Josh
definitely.
elects to do.
I mean, I
Um,
wouldn't be surprised if he were to play Fanian. I mean, it's still the same leave of En, not as many points, but it takes the threat of that triple away. But I don't know if he's going to go for that. I think he's going to go straight for, what he calculates to be pure equity here.
Yeah, I think that's true. And I think it's an interesting, having these considerations about um, opening the board, opening a triple lane, all of those sorts of things. When you're playing somebody, I think, but for both of these players, oh,
Oh,
okay, so he does play it off of the F. He's not comfortable with the risk of overlapping the Ami and Knox hooks.
that's
So
definitely interesting.
yeah,
Definitely interesting.
I would have expected Josh to be aggressive there, but I'm not saying that this is wrong. I just feel like stylistically he's very comfortable
Hmm.
playing aggressively.
Right.
No
I would have liked
no
to see
issue
that I
here.
go down too. Just make
Sure.
Fanian instead.
Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe he didn't generate that as a choice here. Oh man, he's really paid the price there with that
Yeah.
draw.
Oof.
Would have loved to, imagine swapping that I right now for a consonant, and you would feel a lot
It would have
better
been
about
really nice.
his current situation. But neither, regardless of that, drawing. What did he draw? E. No, he drew EEOU. That's not going to help most of the time, right?
Definitely.
There are a few leaves that could salvage that. As Adam plays Fet,
And
seems all right
yeah,
to me.
nice and simple. Yeah.
So yeah, let's see. So the idea of Fet, just he had the two T's and he wants to use one of them and keeps a pretty good bingo leave. Looks like Josh is getting ready to quickly slap down our favorite cry of Bacchic frenzy, Nick.
You
Um,
love to see it.
we love these cries of Bacchic frenzy. I'm so glad that at some point in the history of the English language, there were people crying out in these ways. I hope it was not with, agony or pain. But hey, whatever works, because we really like uoi, and ivove, and all those other
It
wonderful
honestly just depends
terms.
on the Greek text that you're reading. In some Greek texts, Bacchic frenzies are terrible for you and they will kill everyone. But if it's not a tragedy by Seneca, then you are just fine. Enjoy your Bacchic frenzy. This was
Yeah,
brought
you
to you by
are.
someone who just started a classics PhD and then left it.
I didn't realize that. Okay. But I was going to allude to the fact that of anyone, you are perhaps our most qualified person to weigh in on the Bacchic frenzy.
I did
So
leave the classics PhD, to settle for
yikes.
a medieval Italian PhD. So I don't know.
Okay. So you're not straying too far there, but yes, that's pretty cool. A lot of these Latinate words make their way into Scrabble, and
They
it's
definitely
just one of
do.
the many things that we borrow as we see Josh play off those four vowels. That is, if you are watching Colin's Scrabble play for the first time, or if you're more used to the North American dictionary, this is a word that is very helpful to know. So,
And
um,
Adam here is probably going to get his bingo down pretty quickly. He's got a few sevens on his rack. This is one of the more probable racks that you're going to, get when you're studying. When you start out studying Scrabble, there are some letters that you will see more frequently rather than others if you're studying by probability, which is what most people do. And Emeritus, Maestro, Emirates, that's one of those racks that has those possibilities.
yeah, for sure. All the letters in this word, with the exception maybe of the M, are letters that appear very, very frequently here. So omertas is a word that, a little obscure, but somebody like Adam is going to have seen this word countless times in his preparation for Scrabble play here. So Mega Mats in the chat says, "What are the words that are allowed in this game?" Yeah, this is a standard Scrabble dictionary used in pretty much the entire world, as a standard source outside of North America, and it is used by a solid number of players in North America as well. It's got some more archaic words from older source dictionaries. The Scrabble dictionary just grabs its words from all of the already established dictionaries on the market today. So you'll see some
It's
archaic
yeah,
words on
it's like a
there.
little thief.
Yeah, it is. It's more than a little thief. It's a pretty brazen thief, stealing lots of words from other areas. But yeah, these
And that
at some
is
point I'll have the definition bot up so you can query any word that you see and get that definition. I haven't enabled it yet. Just a lot of long to do list here, but I promise we'll get to that. Sorry, Nitz.
It's no, you're fine. It's one of the reasons why we have the dictionary, the softwares that we do, so we can just pop back over to them and, decry our outrage and say, how could this possibly be a word? Oh, I guess there's some sort of, explanation for it.
Physics might be able to help us, which would be
Beautiful.
huge. It would be huge.
So Castellano puts down Trank. I'm kind of surprised to see him do that and keep the leave of GEE. I wonder if maybe QI itself would have been better. Maybe, I don't know. Trank is nice. It's definitely like, it's not bad. It's points
Yeah,
in
when
QI.
you've got that cue. No, Megamats, I think you're misunderstanding. We have a bot that's supposed to help you. It's supposed to help you define words that you're not sure of. So you are absolutely welcome here. We love to have new players stop by the Scrabble Twitch channel and really appreciate you being here. The bot that we're going to enable is going to be a definition dictionary bot to help you query any word that you're unfamiliar with. As Adam plays a massive, wow, look at that play by Adam.
Ooh,
It's
I think that was what, 50 odd points? 58, I think. Ugh, crazy.
Yeah, that's a hammer. So basically, the early lead that Josh had attained after that first bingo, um, is pretty much wiped out now just because Josh has really run into some huge problems with first some vowels and then the Q.
But I wouldn't be surprised to see him, just calculating what bingos he can play, perhaps through the D or the E in Emeritus. I think he has besieged there, the E from Emeritus. Maybe he's looking for something with the available floaters on the board.
Yeah,
Really just,
great
the
point.
I, the D, the E.
He's going to see besieged for sure here. I think it would be shocking. Josh has, I mean, part of the reason for Josh's success, as you said, Nitz, before, is that he is disciplined. He knows his words. He studies hard, and he's really, really invested in the process of improvement at Scrabble. So to see him miss bingos has become increasingly rare over time.
Oh,
Um, I do,
definitely.
I do expect him to spot besieged here.
Yeah, he's just gonna scan the board very methodically and he will find, what his best bingo is. I think currently he's just making a list of, what available bingos he can find.
Yeah, definitely makes a lot of sense just to be
Oh, there we go.
careful, looking at every possibility. So, and there he successfully does spot that play. Down it comes, and he'll retake the lead. Very nice back and forth battle here. Of course, that bingo, you're always happy to get a bingo, but it's avoided any double or triple letter scores, or sorry, triple word scores. It only scores 66. So Adam is still likely to be pretty have a decent sized lead after his next move.
Ancient Cosmographer with the question, why does he keep shaking his head while bingoing? I think it's maybe because he's wondering if there was a bingo with the D to the triple, perhaps, or something that hits a double word, perhaps gives them more than 66 points, because that would be really nice right about now. Or to
He's
draw
also
everyone's attention back to the magic carp, as Adam says.
Magikarp. Exactly. It's to get that Magikarp out there. But I actually think that, it's kind of a mindset thing where Josh is very eager, or his goal each game is to play a perfect game. Right. He's got that wish in his mind. I'm going to try to play perfectly in this game. And anytime it gets into his head that maybe there's a chance that he's missed a play or played something suboptimal, he takes it personally, and that's kind of why he's crushing it lately. Just having that.
That's,
But
yeah,
as I said yesterday, though, Nitz, you don't want to be so harsh on yourself that you can't enjoy the process of playing a Scrabble game. As Adam plays, I think his
I
only real
completely agree.
play from that D of besieged, dwined, another archaic word
Blind.
here. That
Really nice.
yeah, for sure.
I was thinking of Winst, but Dwind is definitely, it's outside of my league of study, but definitely a fantastic play here. I think, you're right that sometimes it's possible to get in your head if you think that you've played your past move imperfectly, but that's where I really like how, really high level players have told me that they will try to play the game by each move, by each rack. It just resets each rack. Now, it's easier to say than to practice, of course, because the situation can really get to you. But to even attempt to practice that mindset, which is, I've reset, this is a new rack, what is my best move here? I guess it can really be helpful.
Yeah, it's just like I said yesterday, it's one of those things where sometimes you sort of have the attitude that's most helpful towards your improvement in the game, even if it's not strictly speaking, factually accurate, right? Like I was talking about it as you should try to believe that you have a chance to win every single game in Scrabble, even
Definitely.
though that's just not true, right? There's going to be some games the best players in the world do not win every game, but it's not that helpful for you to fixate on that.
Definitely. I mean, we saw with Jeremy's game against Jason that so far apart in spread, and suddenly with just three moves, Jeremy caught up, and he was tied with Jason. It could have gone either way with just one pull from the bag.
For sure. That was a pretty exciting game, of course, that you referenced, and it just seemed like Jeremy was slogging for so long, made that rapid comeback, and almost finished it off. So this game, though, is incredibly back and forth. It feels like it's been super close throughout. I do worry a little bit. We mentioned it yesterday. Adam Logan is very, very fast. He plays
Oh,
fast,
definitely.
decisively, and accurately. So I worry a little bit about Josh's time as we're getting into the mid game, maybe a little beyond. And Adams opened up a pretty big time advantage on Josh. Let's see if that manifests itself later in the game.
It might cause some trouble in the end game. Yes. Maybe Josh just needs to, find his, just go for the points and just, keep shooting forwards, catch up, and take the lead where he can. I
He
believe
does
he
have
might.
that C, so he's gonna be able to score
Right.
quite well. Oh,
There we go.
interesting
He's got
choice.
Biz down. I
Yeah,
would have expected to
Biz.
see Yes, perhaps, but Biz seems pretty good.
I wonder if he has sort of an idea for that Y, if there's a spot that he's gunning for to maybe score well with the Y. Sometimes on certain boards, the Y is very useful. I still think on this board, it's probably okay to play it up there with Yez instead, but Biz is certainly an extremely competitive option there.
Definitely gets him a lot of
Hello,
points.
hello to Hubert in the chat. I'm joined by Niche Chugty today, just as I was yesterday, and she is doing an awesome job helping me
Aw.
to navigate the action here. So,
Oh, we have news from the side that Biz sims best for the record. So Castellano again,
nice,
making what the best choice is
impressive.
for what's
That
simming.
Yeah,
Very impressive.
it has to be. I'm sure it's relating a little bit to that Y, and it's likely to score well in a few places. You can see it would score well next to the A of Jalop. Certain things that Josh could draw that would play parallel there. There's a couple other places I can see where it's potentially pretty damaging. But back over to Adam. I think he's going to have his pick of some good plays in that upper corner of the board with the Ami hook. That A is
Yeah.
allowing sort of overlaps in that spot.
And
Um,
he's got these nice little letters, the V and the C, that aren't going to allow anyone to get to the triple. So he's really going to be able to take that spot and cash it in for himself.
Yeah. So I just want to point out though that once if Adam does play up there and does not block the E of Dwind, Josh is going to have an incredible obscure bingo through that E of worried. And I just can't imagine. I pretty much can't imagine Josh missing anything at this point, and I expect him to play this extremely obscure bingo when Adam plays in that upper left corner and sort of solidify his lead here.
Amazing. And he's really gonna want to come back with that bingo after Adam plays in the top left corner.
Yeah, that'll be a big turning point. Will Josh see that he has that play through the E of Dwind? My guess is yes.
Oh,
Okay, here
definitely.
we go. The play of Vac. We like this. Just vacuum cleaner, scoring quite well and keeping a good leave. So I think the biggest thing here. Will Josh see his bingo? If he does, he should be playing it instantly here. He needs that time. He needs to preserve as
He
much time
really
as
does.
possible, but also, what will Adam draw? Have we seen blanks be played
Oh,
yet?
oh, there have been no blanks played yet. Oh, he picks up the two H's,
Whoa.
but yeah. I mean, Castellano's going to come down with, another bingo in the 60s. I think, he's just looking for something that scores a little bit more.
So Adam has drawn his own bingo here. He has Etherish through the E of Dwind. If Josh plays his bingo, it will block that. At the same time, though, Adam has managed to also draw a playable bingo from the W of Dwind. He will actually be able to play
Withers.
Withers, which is valid
Amazing.
in the Collins lexicon. So we're potentially going to see some big fireworks here. Um,
Wow. It's just going
it's
to be bingoing
Adam.
back to back here.
Yeah, and that's going to favor Adam greatly because after those two bingos are exchanged, Adam is going to still maintain his lead and the board is going to be closer to exhausted. But remember, oh, there
There
it
we go.
is. Nice.
There we
Oh,
go.
man. So nice.
Nice.
Okay, the big thing here is Josh going to draw one or two of those unseen blanks because I really expect Adam to bingo back after this play. And if Josh is able to pull one of those blanks, he might be able to keep pace with Adam despite that.
That could really
I'm
change the tide of the
fascinated.
game.
What's he going to draw? Let's see. We're waiting
This is
with
an explosive game.
anticipation.
It's keeping us on our toes.
Yeah, it's been completely back and forth.
You just keep
Adam
exchanging these blows.
Adam is so solid on his word knowledge, so I definitely do not
Oh, there we
expect
go.
him. Yeah, he spotted it. But look, that blank. There it is.
Blanks on the
What's
track.
Josh
And
drawn?
oh,
Oh, the two
two
U's.
U's. Oh my gosh.
Oh, oh man. So
Oh my gosh.
you love to see that blank work its way onto Josh's rack, but the two U's are going to be problematic. It's possible that he'll still have some play somewhere, but it's
Wow.
gonna be challenging with those two U's. The U, not what we want to see among the vowels. It's kind of the weakest of the vowels, but two of them
Oh, he
together
would.
is.
I think if Withers comes down, he would have auguries. Tony
Oh, very
Leah in the
nice.
chat suggests auguries. Yeah, to
Nice.
the R and
That's
Withers.
huge. The problem with that though is that um it's going to score well, but it will also give the I can imagine in my mind where auguries is going. It would be through the potential R of Withers. That would be one row above the triple word score. So it might give back some scary overlaps to Adam afterwards. And after all
Definitely.
the dust settles, the game might be more or less even. um, crazy,
Wow.
crazy.
And that's what, you expect when you're seeing a game against, with these two very high rated players who've just spent years and just hours and so much time just on their word knowledge, on their precision, on their ability to see the board and what it gives you back. It's really such a process and it's a delight to watch.
Yeah, these two players are showing, showing off their skills here. Although I will say a lot of the game to this point has been sort of play finding and generating the relevant words. I do feel like there have been a couple of sort of tactical moves in the mix where it's not so much about finding the words involved, but choosing between them. There was a comment earlier about Trank as to whether Josh should maybe have either just played off his cue by itself and draw into a really good leave of Enrage, or maybe he should have played alongside the Ox and Me, where you see the word Vac. I don't know. It's a tough one. That was probably the most tactical decision of the game so far. The rest of it has been just a clinic in finding great words and playing them for a lot of points.
Definitely. And when you're on the board and you're looking at these moves, it can be scary trying to play in a place that opens up a triple. If you're concerned about what your opponent is going to give back, I'm not saying that you should play scared. I'm just saying that it happens. You're on the board and you're so concerned about what it will give back because that is also, part of one's considerations. It can stop you from playing in places that open up hotspots.
For sure. It occurs to me now, after a couple minutes have passed, that Adam has sort of been staring at Hithers on his rack for many minutes now, like a long time. So I have to wonder. This is a word where we sort of, hither and wither, those are sort of normal English words.
Right.
Putting the S onto wither is not so normal, right? I feel like that is an obscure hook to know that wither actually takes an S at the end. I have to assume that Adam is struggling right now with whether this is a valid
Well,
word.
okay, now isn't wouldn't one say that, oh, that flower withers in the sunlight? I mean, wouldn't
Yeah,
that
but
be?
that doesn't have an H in it. So wither in that sense is spelt
Oh, there we
W
go. There
I
we go.
WIT. So this is maybe a little bit more obscure to remember that you can actually spell it this way. The withering of the flower is definitely, that's for sure. He's probably thinking about that, and he's probably thinking, is this a variation of that spelling? But I'm feeling like, and maybe after the game we'll get a chance to ask. It seems like he's struggling right now. Is this a word I can play? Will I get it challenged off if I play this?
Oh,
Yeah,
he's not
see,
gonna. Oh,
he's
wow.
decided. He's decided not to play it. There another. I don't think. I mean, that's a big point sacrifice here. So I don't really think that this was positional. Withers obviously put a bunch of good letters out in space, like the R and the S, but there is a huge score differential between the two plays, 37 points.
Wow.
Um, but amazingly, it's going to benefit Adam hugely here because he avoids getting hit with auguries from Josh and
Ooh,
draws the
and
second blank
picks up
himself.
that one.
Wow.
Nice. That's
Crazy.
really gonna change the tide because
What a
Josh
swing.
isn't gonna be able to come back with a bingo. He's going to need to, well, he might do as chat suggested, tranquilize if he sees it. I really don't know what he would do here.
Wow, that's cool. Tranquilize. Actually, there are two L's still in the pool, unseen to Josh. I think I have it correct here. If we want to flip to what Josh is looking at here, there's 14 unseen tiles to him. So set. Oh wow, I'm sorry. That's definitely not it. So I'm not sure what happened here. I'll have to fix that. I don't know what
Oh, maybe you
happened
just need
here.
to save the file, perhaps?
Yeah, I did do that, so I'm a little surprised. But
Okay.
yeah, I'll fix that between games. Sorry about that. So basically, the unseen pool consists of that second blank, obviously, but also two L's. So if he wants to go for tranquilize, he can. I think he's better served though by just trying to draw into a bingo from the D or to the R or E of hither. Um, I'm wondering though if
What do you even
Adam
do
gets
there?
yeah, if Adam gets a chance to play something like loosener to the R of hither, that's going to require Josh to hit a very precise bingo somewhere, either maybe to the H of hither, maybe through the D of viled. It's not
Mm-hmm.
impossible that Josh will be
Huh.
able to bingo back. And because there are so few tiles in the bag, if Adam bingos and then Josh bingos in response, that bingo by Josh will end the game. And it might put him back into the lead. Oh, Lesion is being pointed out. Although I'm a little, I wonder, that is a lot more points. But I think, and hello to Austin, by the way. Um, so yeah, I don't know. It's tough because if Adam bingos next turn, he wants to do so in a way that minimizes any chance of Josh bingoing in response.
That's
Maybe
true.
I don't know. It's tough to figure out where that bingo should go.
I
Um,
wouldn't be surprised if here Josh would want to try and fork the board by creating more than one spot for himself to bingo because I mean, I know he's gonna want a bingo, but if that space with hither coming down, if that gets the lower right quadrant of the board gets blocked, the board's exhausted otherwise. He's really gonna want to create another spot for himself.
yeah, it's a really good point. Um, it's going to be tough to actually find a space to on that left edge of the board, right? Um, it's not it's not that easy to create more space while also scoring some points. I don't know. This is tough. Oh, a
Yeah,
suggestion of
suggestions of
vacua. Yeah, that's pretty
yeah.
cool. Actually, that's a cool idea. Um,
Whew,
would
back
that?
to making just putting down the U and A to extend that vac that's already on the board, and that opens up a triple.
I just have a suspicion that Adam, the unseen letters that you just posted in the chat nits are all quite good bingo tiles, and I just have a
Mhm.
suspicion that on Adam's next turn, he's not he's going to try. I don't think he's going to bingo if he feels like he's in danger of losing the game afterwards. I think instead he might try to play a bunch of points and to score well and leave maybe one tile in the bag so that he can take a lead and almost certainly draw into bingos somewhere on the board. Maybe he'll opt to do that as opposed to just play loosener or something like that now. Um, I don't know. This
Very
is
interesting.
actually
Yes.
this has now shifted firmly into an extremely tactical, strategic battle here between these two players, both with blanks on their rack, knocking on the door of a bingo. Wow.
And to have the
I have
blanks coming so late in the game, it's yeah,
for sure.
it changes the way that you think of the board.
So Josh's time dwindling. He actually had
Oof.
managed to equalize. He had managed to equalize his time headed into Adam's last play when Adam did not play. Oh, okay. There's our play.
Okay.
Yuva through the V of Viold, scoring pretty well, actually. 15 points. It doesn't open any more space, and it uses one of the two U's. So this puts Adam in a brutal spot here of having tons of bingos to play, but knowing that, oh, look at that.
Wow.
Uh, kind of a weird draw for Josh. Um, I don't know. I'm sure he might. I'm not seeing it yet, but it feels like he probably has something somewhere with that rack, but I'm not. Maybe
You would
not.
hope, right? Hmm.
Something from the D, maybe.
Maybe something to
Um,
the. Oh, we
oh,
hear
yeah.
from
Very nice.
syrup here,
Syrupier
like a
to the
syrup.
R. More syrupy.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, why wouldn't you play Loosener? I think the idea is just that Loosener is going to lose to any bingo through the D of Viold, right? Given Josh's lead, he won't need a very heavy hitting bingo, and you just lose a bunch of games that maybe you would win if you were simply the person to bingo last and end the game. But I agree that it's going to be very difficult for Adam to get away from bingoing here. And I think in this case, if he plays Loosener, he's going to win the game.
Yeah. If he, well, I think if he does lesions as well, um, he's
Oh,
good.
that will manage.
I think
That
he's
will.
safe.
Yeah, but that's that's scary. That's
It really is, isn't
Legion
it? You have no idea.
because it opens the L of Legion in the triple lane
The
too,
triple
which is
triple, yeah, and you really don't want to do that.
I think really from Adam's POV, he should be picking the bingo that allows the fewest counter bingos to Josh, wherever that is. Um, I don't think he needs to necessarily maximize his score here, but maybe I'm misevaluating. Tough, tricky. So yeah, we'll see. This is
This is
really
yes.
interesting. I expect to see Adam burn most of the rest of his time here.
Very, very close game right at the end here.
So let's see. Um, with it's worth noting, I could actually easily see Adam play nosers through the S and R here at the top of the board with besieged
Oh
and
my
trank.
gosh.
The reason why he would do that is just to retake the lead, leave EL blank, and that way, if Josh were to bingo somewhere, Adam would have pretty good chances of bingoing back. That being said, I don't know. I don't think I would have the stones to play that here. I'm probably just bingoing here with something to the R. That's got
And
to
we're
be,
back to that discussion again. I mean, if you have the bingo on your rack, do you play it or not?
yeah. All right. I'm just taking a look at some of the. I'm actually doing a simulation here, and there is a shocking play that sims extremely well here, and that play is Esile, Esile through the eye of Uoy. That
Oh
play is
my.
simming. That play is simming best by a significant margin. So anyway, and closer comes down for Adam, which blocks Syrupier, and that is certainly a tough blow to Josh to see that go down. I'm sure that he had spotted his bingo to the R by this time, and he now does not have a place to bingo on the resulting board. Tough break.
Yeah, that's rough. That's rough.
So Josh's best play is now tranquilized through Trank. So
Amazing.
it's not going to win him the game, but that is technically the right play. I think Josh has decided correctly that he's going to challenge and closer, even though he on 99.9999% knows that's a word. He just knows he can't win the game if it's a valid word. So he's going to try and pray that somehow in closer is not valid, but it is valid. Tough
Maybe
one
they
for
changed the
Josh here.
dictionary overnight. You never know.
I changed it to, I'm not sure what you need to change it to make that word invalid, but I think it's going to just lead to an extra 5 points for Adam. That's our challenge rule here. If you're curious, what does that mean? Any player can challenge any word that they don't think is valid. Excuse me. And if the word is valid, in the Collins division, the player gets 5 extra points who played that word. In the NWL division, if you challenge a word that's valid, you lose your turn. It's very punitive. So yeah, it's in Collins play. It's typically a great idea if you have any doubt in a word's validity, you should challenge it just to make sure. So Josh has done that. And closer is valid, and Nitz, that's a tough loss for Josh, but well
Very
played,
tough.
Adam. That Withers turn is just fascinating. That
Yeah,
really
I
turned the
wonder where
game.
the game would have gone with that. Because perhaps at the end of the time, at the end of the day, maybe not playing Withers was the best move because Josh didn't come back with his own bingo, couldn't, utilize his blank.
Yeah, it certainly worked out for the best in this game. I hesitate to say, um,
It's not the
is it?
right move, but
Yeah,
because it's too many points to give up, but it's definitely interesting the way that it changed how the game went. So I
very
completely
much.
agree with you there.
Yeah, it's funny too, right? Like it's not so. I don't know. It's Scrabble is weird this way because there are times where you can make it's okay, this is a good idea.
Oh,
Okay, I thought he was going to play wipes because Adam as GI Joel, welcome, nice to see you, has joined us and pointed out that Adam can play glutch to the H of hither. So
hmm.
I thought Josh was going to tack that S on and try to block that play. But of course, you can see he only has 20 seconds remaining, and he
He
can
really
be
needs to pray.
forgiven. Yeah, he can be forgiven for just getting something on the board in that situation. So,
Yeah.
wow, pretty amazing.
What
This
a
was a
game.
extremely fun game. So, yeah, Adam comes out
I
on
mean,
top, and
yeah.
that's a big win for him. But I should note that given that tiebreaker that you see there of the spread, right? So you see Josh's record 10-1, his spread plus 1344. That's the amount that he has won his games by, and he still is going to be ahead of Adam in the standings after this game. So he can take heart. He has a chance to rebound.
And that's one of the things that I think Josh really prioritizes, when he's playing. Oh, gut comes down. Okay.
Oh,
He's still
interesting.
winning the game.
Easily, yeah. No
Yeah.
worries there.
Just
But
a
yeah,
glitch would
surprising.
have, yeah.
A glutch in the system, as they say. Yeah. So just a couple. I guess I'm surprised a little that he didn't play Gulch there, but maybe he saw a good play that Josh was threatening, and Josh simply going out with what looks like unis,
Unis, yeah.
um, parallel to wipes, or to wipe, I should say, and that'll do it for this game. So
Wow,
wow,
what a
that
game.
was I gotta say, I usually tease the first game of the day and say that it's going to be a banger no matter what, but this one really was. this one,
Absolutely a banger.
this one delivered. This one delivered.
Wow.
Um,
That was
so
just, yeah, that was a little ridiculous with all of those moves coming in rapid fire. Wow.